Picture this. You're a hero in another world and have to go through a labyrinth in order to achieve your goal. Eventually, you're at an impasse. There are two doors in front of you that have two different effects. The first door significantly alters your perception of reality, a sort of psychosis that makes it any sort of danger will appear as harmless and any foe will appear as your closest ally. Whereas in the second door, it completely wipes all your memories of the world you live in. To me, this kind of decision would be devastating to make, especially considering your allies in your party. What would you do if you couldn't differentiate them with your enemies? Could you make the best decision, given the fact you may not even remember anything at all? My dear viewer, my Pookie, at least you got to make the decision. Just like how you can decide to click that subscribe button, a choice I hope will go in my favor. Plan to shoot up the production of my videos as well as their quality, but I need you to help. Even a like is enough to motivate me. A comment is worth 5 likes and a subscribe is worth a 10% coupon on McDonald's. These estimates may not be entirely accurate. In case you weren't aware, the rose-tinted glasses door, for lack of a better word, is the door Morty Smith was shoved into pending an argument with Rick Sanchez. Morty from Rick and Morty has a lot of things he has to deal with. Chief among them is the relationship with his grandfather, the smartest person in the world. Alas, for all of his intellect, he repeatedly fails to do right by Morty as a guardian, and pending an exchange of harsh words towards his grandson, he elects to implant an insect into Morty's brain that alters Morty's perception of the world around him. It's like the equation on the screen. Anything negative Morty would be subject to is reinterpreted in his mind as a good thing or a nice thing, and he works by enhancing the empathy in his brain to levels beyond reasonableness. So whenever Rick would say mean or hurtful things towards Morty, he would take it as loving words of encouragement. This situation is already toxic. Many an abusive partner would jump at the chance to inject that alien bug into their victim's brains, but I couldn't grasp just how horrifying this actually is until later in the episode. Allow me to ask a bit of a strange question. Why are you alive? I don't mean for you guys to have an existential crisis, so forgive me for being dramatic, but do you know what you owe your life to? Whether it's being aware enough to stop just before a car flies through the road, choosing not to jump into a pool when you know you can't swim, I know you can't swim, and electing not to slap a lion in the face. Those actions were informed because you sense a certain element of danger, that your actions or your lack of actions, either from carelessness or misfortune, allowed for your survival. That's not to say you're better than people who have died in similar circumstances, but the weight of your actions cannot be ignored. Now suppose you treated a venomous snake, handling it to how you would treat a puppy or a baby. Who here would kiss a king cobra in the face? If you're crazy enough to do that, you're already scarier than Pennywise in my ass. Suffice to say, this is the kind of reality Morty was subjected to. He even had an entire arm blown off in an explosion, yet he neither recognized this nor felt any pain for it. It isn't just his eyes, not just his nose, ears, or tongue that deceived him. It was his touch as well. All 5 senses, and that's absolutely terrifying. It's essentially the infinite Tsukuyomi from Naruto, but way more twisted in my eyes. Not being able to recognize pain, to acknowledge your standing in the eyes of others, even potentially being a burden to those you care about. I would sooner give up on my journey through the labyrinth than have those I care for put in danger due to my carelessness. Not to say that the second door is better, far from it, even though I am confident that the next topic of the video can get through it though. It is only because he is built different. Had it been me, I would have faltered, wavered more, given up so to say. Though maybe giving up is more impossible than moving forward. Many people have had regrets. If we had the power to turn back time and fix it, I'm sure most people would jump at the opportunity. Buying the right lottery ticket, for example, is something I don't think anyone would pass up. But what if there was a toll on whenever you use this power? And to make it even worse, you don't decide when you revert as well. When you restart from zero. Would you still use this power if the price of activation was you dying? Natsuki Subaru is someone intimately aware of this fate. Even if he is known as the Lollymancer, getting your head blown smooth off multiple times is a bit much. He has had to go through a lot of pain, and I commend him for his perseverance during this multi-regression during his journey. But Subaru, that was that we know of, it wasn't all him. So to say, a big part of him being able to go through this path was the luck that he had. He was lucky to meet someone as nice and caring as Amelia. Lucky enough to be able to beat the foes he had met. Imagine if it was Reinhardt that he had fought in the first fight and only violence could let him get past the conflict. I don't think he'd be able to continue the anime. He would just be an Instagram reel on loop. Why do I hype this up so much? It's because it's abundantly clear just how important his friends are when he loses his memory. In season 4, he's in a tower he cannot escape. Not only is there an unbelievably strong swordsman blocking one avenue, an immensely powerful magic user is set to kill him should he try and run away from the tower. This tower is in the middle of a space-distorted desert, and there are wild magical beasts everywhere. Probably not very kid-friendly if you ask me. Someone should report this to the management, but he has no choice. While we can simply pause the anime, watch something else, Goon, he has to live with being murdered every time he tries to come up with a solution. For people unaware with the series, oftentimes Subaru ends up with a deadline, so to say. Every time he fails to come up with a solution by the deadline, he dies. Something always kills him. But it is because of this that he can get a good idea as to when he will regress. Through multiple different challenges, increasing in complexity, he's able to navigate around these types of situations. But with his memory gone, it's like putting a peak bronze player from Marvel Rivals in an Eternity lobby of the same game. They have absolutely no clue what to do. Unlike with Morty, Subaru's issues regarding his perception of reality have yet to be resolved, and I don't think that they can be, at least not with this version of him. And that's okay. It's okay that he can't overcome this, because it emphasizes just how much he has grown over the years that he's been there in that other world. Specifically, it's been around 1 year. That his time there has value, and that he can come to love the people in his life so much that death is simply a bump in the road in his pursuit of their well-being. I could be completely wrong, and a web novel buff may spoil how this D1 Subaru is actually him and one-shots all of his problems. But that's all from me. If it went down between picking Morty's situation or Subaru's, it would be really hard to decide. So I just flip a coin, and I'd bet on the relationships both of the characters have to help me along the way. I'm picking Morty because Rick is there to save me. That's all from me. Thank you so much for hearing me out, bro.